Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Excited for my guest today, Daniel Van Deest. He's an author, but I've actually met him in person. So I know this guy. I've met him numerous times. He's got a book called Balance, and we're going to be chatting about that coming up here a little bit later in the program today. I also have a quote for this Wednesday. You ready for a good Wednesday quote, Heidi?
Sure.
All right. Here's our Wednesday quote for today. It says, "Keep your face always toward the sunshine, and shadows will fall behind you." Walt Whitman. He's also a writer. He's a good writer. Well, he's dead now, but he was a good writer. He's got some good stuff. I like that. If you keep your face toward the sunshine, the shadows are behind you, Heidi.
That's true.
Put it behind you. Just stare at the sun. Don't stare at the sun. You know what I mean. I don't know what I mean. Just listen to his quote. We've got a lot of great stuff to get to. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on this Wednesday. We're super excited to have you here.
John and Heidi.
If you're a business owner trying to do your own website, maybe it's time to get help. Or if you don't even have a website, it's definitely time for help. It's 2018. This internet thing is here to stay. At 49bydesign.com, we offer a simple plan to get you online for just $49 a month with no setup fee. This includes a website with the hosting and domain name included in the price. We have larger packages available, but this will get you online so people can find you in 2018. We're affordable by design at 49bydesign.com. That's 49bydesign.com.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It is Wednesday, the 13th day of June. It's National Random Acts of Light Day. Random Acts of Light Day. Also, National Kitchen Klutzes of America Day. You ever been a kitchen klutz?
I remember. Think so.
Yeah, you were. You were doing dishes one time and cut your finger off.
Well, it wasn't a klutz, and I didn't cut it off.
Yeah,
I cut
pretty
it.
close. Cut it pretty good. It's also National Sewing Machine Day today and National Weed Your Garden Day today. So all of those things happening on this Wednesday, the 13th day of June.
John and Heidi.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-818-3967. 800-818-3967. That's 800-818-3967. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
John and Heidi.
Coming up, we've got your brain on drugs. But first, is it a prison or is it a vineyard? Heidi, tell me, Rikers Island, New York, New York. Prison or vineyard?
Oh.
Rikers Island. Is that
Rikers Island. It sounds like a prison, but I'm going to say vineyard.
Really? Are you serious? That's a famous prison.
Is it?
You didn't know that?
Well, I thought it sounded too much like a prison. That's why I thought it was a vineyard.
That's a famous prison.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, prison.
You were
then.
incorrect. It was a prison this time. This has been another action-packed episode of Is it a prison or is it a vineyard? I'm amazed at how many of these are, they could kind of go both ways. Rikers Island wine, that does sound good. They probably make some there in prison. It's like toilet wine, so maybe you don't want that. But this has been a very fun thing. And a big thank you to the people who've sent me submissions for this, by the way. If you've got something you'd like to submit, you can do that right through our website, johnandheidishow.com.
John and Heidi.
This time of year, there are many parties, weddings, cookouts, and other events that often include alcohol. If you're drinking, be sure to have a designated driver. If you or someone you know has a problem with drugs or alcohol, there is help. The Addiction Hope and Helpline wants to help. If you feel like it's time to finally get the help you need, there's a toll-free number you can call, 1-800-438-0380. That's the Addiction Hope and Helpline, 1-800-438-0380. 1-800-438-0380.
And this is Your Brain on Drugs. We head all the way to Australia, where there's a woman that's been charged after allegedly riding a horse to a bottle shop while she was more than 4 times over the legal limit. That's what they call a liquor store there, a bottle shop. That's a nice name for it, isn't it? Bottle shop. I'm going to go to the
Where
bottle
do they
shop.
call it that?
That's in Australia.
Oh.
A woman there. This was just south of Brisbane, Australia. I've always said Brisbane, but I've been told it's Brisbane.
Why can't you ride a horse if you're intoxicated?
Well, they were called to a tavern over a woman refusing to leave the premises. They said upon arrival, the female allegedly had ridden a horse through the drive-through section of the tavern and she was heavily intoxicated. She was arrested and taken to the Logan Central Police Station. She provided a positive blood alcohol concentration of 0.226.
Whoa!
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a bunch. Officers walked the horse back to Logan Central Police Station while the woman was processed. So, I wonder if the horse was drunk too. I don't think so. It sounds like it was just her. She drank enough to kill a horse, but thank goodness the horse was fine. That is what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, Melissa Rivers says her son Cooper was Joan Rivers' greatest legacy. She said, my greatest legacy is my grandson. That's kind of cool that you'd say that. She's
sweet.
known for so many things. Simon Cowell is in the news. He says he hasn't touched his cell phone in 10 months because it was making him distracted and irritated. So, can you imagine Simon Cowell being distracted and irritated? Isn't that everything that people like about him, is the fact that he's irritated all the time? Meghan Markle's mother says the highlight of the royal wedding was what? What do you think was her favorite part of the wedding?
I really don't know.
Meeting the Queen.
Don't care.
So it was. You think maybe the best highlight would have included your daughter meeting the Queen. That was it. And then one last thing here. Oprah Winfrey exhibit is set to open at the National African American Museum, so they're going to have an exhibit for her. I think that's kind of cool. Big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com.
John and Heidi.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-719-5601. 800-719-5601. That's 800-719-5601.
Now, your scoop of the day, courtesy of 80sinthesand.com. Sad story here. 2 expert climbers fell to their death at Yosemite National Park last Sunday.
Oh.
This is very sad. 1,000 feet they fell. That would
that's
just be
too bad.
And here's the thing that really kind of stinks. Online, people are just heartless. I was reading about this on social media, and there was somebody that said, at least they died doing what they love. And then there was another person that commented right out of that said, no, they loved climbing, not falling to their death. And I was like, well, that's not what they meant. But I was like, how mean can you be? These people are deceased. Be nice. That is just sad. So if you see something like that and somebody ended up dying, please be nice online. You shouldn't have to say that out loud. But people are not nice. Have you noticed this?
Yes.
People are terrible. Study by the University of Indiana found that 6 in 10 people support a business's rights to deny service to anybody they want to on religious grounds. And I think back in the day, there was this thing where, like, if you didn't want me to buy from you, I wouldn't want to buy from you. And it's like now it's turned into kind of a bizarre thing where they're like, no, I want to force you to sell me something that I don't want to, that you don't want to sell me. There are places where I'll see like a sign that says we refuse to what is it called?
Reserve the right to refuse service to anyone.
There you go. So I'm okay with that.
I am too.
But I don't know. It's just I wouldn't want to do business with somebody that doesn't want me anyway.
Well, especially not something edible.
Oh, that's just bizarre.
Like you're going to eat something somebody who hates you made?
I've never sent food back. Have I ever told you that? The other day went out to dinner with a friend, and I ordered a burrito, and I don't like onions and peppers, and it showed up with onions and peppers, and I'm over there eating this thing, and I'm like picking onions out of it. He said, why don't you just send it back? I was like, never have, never will. Not going to do that. I'm like, I'm okay. He's like, you seriously, you wouldn't send it back even though they got it wrong? I'm like, that's okay. I'm fine. I'll be just good, just like this. Study from MIT, they developed an artificial intelligence psychopath named Norman who's programmed like Alfred Hitchcock's character. Why? Why would we do this, MIT? I mean, were you bored and you just wanted to see if you could end mankind? Is that what's going on? So they developed at MIT an artificial intelligence. They call that AI. That stands for artificial intelligence. His name is Norman, and he's programmed to act like Alfred Hitchcock's character from Psycho. Bad idea. I mean, what good is going to come from this? Anything? Probably not. A Long Island man is suing CVS Pharmacy after his pharmacist told his wife about him using Viagra, and she didn't know that he was using that. So, okay.
All right.
I think that's kind of interesting. And it's just bizarre. And a UPS strike could be happening, or maybe it already happened. I haven't sent anything in a while, so I don't know. I suppose maybe it would affect me if I was supposed to be getting something, but
yeah, I don't do.
I've got a link to
anything
that
with
story
kids.
if you want to read all the details. And scientists from 5 different universities. This is interesting because I could see one university wasting time on this study, but 5 different universities were doing studies to find out if walking faster could add years to your life. All 5 say walking faster could add 5 years to your life. So there you go. Walk faster.
Walk faster.
You're going to live longer.
Walk faster and walk more often.
Apparently. And Jimmy John's has a sandwich called the JJ Gargantuan. I actually order that. It's one of my faves. But listen to this. It contains, I've never really looked at the amount of calories.
Oh,
Guess
man.
how many?
How many?
2,190 calories. That's more than most people should eat for an entire day.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, so
You've ordered that?
I have. It's good. And apparently I won't be ordering that again in the future. It's like a feast for a family, apparently. And do we have time for one more thing? No, we don't. We'll get to this tomorrow. I've got so much stuff stacking up here. I got to go through and kind of weed things out. I did go through tail end of last week, and I took all the stories. I've been saving up these stories that are stories we would never talk about on the radio. Heidi would love to, but I just won't talk about them because they're kind of naughty. I shared those in a show notes post only, so it just says stuff that's not going to make it on the radio. So if you like things that are a little risque, things that,
like I do.
yeah, you can go and read it there, but when you read it, you'll go, I see why they didn't talk about these. They're all very blushable things, so there you go. This has been your Scoop of the Day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Again, the show notes page is at johnandheidishow.com.
John and Heidi.
Do you have ideas for t-shirt designs, but you don't have a clue how to print them? Or maybe you'd like to have t-shirts and coffee mugs available to buy online with your business logo printed on them. There's a website that makes it easy. We set ours up in about 10 minutes. There's no sign-up fee, no minimum orders, no monthly fees. It's just a really easy way to put some cool items online for sale, and you get paid every time somebody buys them. You don't have to print or ship anything. Just sign up, upload your designs, and then let people know where they can get your cool stuff. More details available at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. I'm excited to visit with our guest today because I know Danny. It's Daniel Van Deest. He's the author of a new book called Balance, a Detective Lindstrom story. Daniel, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Very good. I get to talk to authors all the time, but the thing that's neat, I actually know you. We lived in the same town for a while, and I got to know you pretty well, so I didn't know you were an author. Is this your first book, or how long have you been doing this?
Well, I used to be a writer back in high school, and, life just kind of takes its toll on you. And I had an idea back in November of 2016, and I just decided, I'm going to run with this and see what happens. And here we are a year and a half later, and I've got a published book.
That is really cool. And the book Balance, a Detective Lindstrom story. Now, is this hopefully the first of many from this line of books then?
I am hoping. I have an idea for a story arc, and I've actually started doing the research and put fingers to keypad for book 2. And my plan is to write books 2 and 3 back to back and release them, when they are ready to go. So hopefully it'll be a trilogy, at least for this initial story idea that starts with Balance.
That is really cool. Now, let's talk a little bit about the book that's out right now. It's available through Amazon, also available like on a Kindle if people want to watch it or read it the digital way. But what is the concept behind the book Balance, and where did the concept come from, Daniel?
Basically, my wife is a breast cancer survivor, and to see what she went through to battle her disease and to, basically get it out of her system kind of inspired me. And basically, the character, Patricia Lindstrom, in the book is how I would see my wife if she was a police detective. And the idea just came from something that I had just was thinking about one day as I was driving to my father-in-law's farm in Nebraska, and I just decided to put it down on paper, and I say that's where we are now.
That's really cool. Now, the book came out just recently, but you're already doing pretty well. You got quite a few folks that are interested in this book, haven't you?
Yes, we ordered an original printing. We've already sold all those, and that doesn't count whatever Amazon has sold or the Kindle version as well. It's kind of a new process for us, for my wife and for myself, because we've never done anything like this before. And, the advent of the Internet and with Amazon and their Create Space function, it's actually a lot easier for first-time authors or even, veteran authors to get their works published with minimum, overhead.
But you got to still have that idea, because you could, they can make it as affordable as possible, but if it's not a good idea, no one's going to buy it. The thing that you have going for you is you've got a good idea here, and I love the fact that you have book 2 and book 3 already kind of planned out in your mind. How long did it take to actually put the words on the page for book number 1? How long did that whole process take, Daniel?
That actually took about a year, and when I researched the book, I basically researched and wrote at the same time rather than having everything prepared beforehand. But the ideas just kind of flowed out of me, and like I say, it was a year later, and I had a finished draft. I got a editor, and it took about 6 months to edit it to get it to a reasonably finished product, and I've heard good things so far. We've already got a couple of reviews up on the Amazon site for it that are positive. I'm hoping people enjoy it, and we'll see what happens. And
I'm looking at the reviews, and like I said, the people that are reading it are absolutely loving it, so that's a good thing. So I think it'd be really cool if you build a fan base for Detective Lindstrom, so when it's time for book 2 and book 3, you'll already have people that are interested in that. Do you see ideas for other stories beyond 2 and 3 for Detective Lindstrom, or do you kind of have other ideas in addition to this series as well?
I have an idea for something to close out the arc and then to move forward. Of course, it's always difficult in today to find those organic ideas and those original ideas, but I think that there's enough available with this character, because I have her based in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, which is where I was born and raised. I'm familiar with the city and kind of its culture and its locations, and that was one of the things that we really wanted to bring to light, to make it as organic and as real as possible. The front cover of the photo is actually the opening scene of book 1, where the body is discovered, which gives it more of a realistic feel to it.
Absolutely. And the book is called Balance. This is the first one in the series. It's a Balance, a Detective Lindstrom story. And when do you expect 2 and 3? Do you think that'll be in the next year or 2 years, or how long do you think that'll take, Daniel?
I really couldn't tell you. I'm 2 chapters into book 2 right now. Of course, life comes at you pretty fast with everything. My daughter is a finished junior. Her junior year, she'll be starting her senior year this fall. My son is going to be moving on to the intermediate school. I'm also going back to school this fall as well, taking more classes. So it just depends on, how quickly I can put something down or how quickly it can get worked on. But I'd like to have at least book 2 done within a year, but you just never know.
Absolutely. Well, Daniel, thank you for taking the time to visit with us, and we're going to throw a link in our show notes to make it really easy to find the book.
All right, thank you very much.
Again, the book is called Balance, a Detective Lindstrom story, and our guest today has been Daniel Van Deest. He is the author, and I've got a link to this book on our show notes page at JohnandHeidiShow.com.
John and Heidi.
If you're a business owner, you should consider using radio. Radio is a powerful tool. Over 90% of us listen to the radio each week. Imagine if this ad was talking about your business, helping you hit your goals. We can help. We can also create a fun jingle, too, to get people singing your song. When you put words to music, they're 9 times more memorable, and that makes radio work even better. Learn more at RadioReallyWorks.com. Radio jingles to help you get better results with the money you're already spending. RadioReallyWorks.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Title 14, Section 112 of the Code of Federal Regulations, implemented on July 16, 1969, makes it illegal for U.S. citizens to have any contact with extraterrestrials or their vehicles. So,
really?
If you talk to extraterrestrials, it is
illegal.
Against the law as of 1969. And you can also not come in contact with an extraterrestrial vehicle, which would be like a spaceship.
Well, there you go.
Why is that on the books for a law? What a bizarre thing. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Average number of people airborne over the U.S. in any given hour. How many people do you think are in the air right now?
I don't know. I'll say 50,000.
Oh, you were closer than I thought. 61,000 is the number. 61,000. Very good. I would have guessed a much lower number. I'd have guessed 10 grand, 1,100 people. I don't know. 7? Is there 7 people up there? I don't know. This has been a couple of fun facts courtesy of LearnWithoutLoans.com.
If you're a business owner trying to do your own website, maybe it's time to get help. Or if you don't even have a website, it's definitely time for help. It's 2018. This internet thing is here to stay. At 49bydesign.com, we offer a simple plan to get you online for just $49 a month with no setup fee. This includes a website with the hosting and domain name included in the price. We have larger packages available, but this will get you online so people can find you in 2018. We're affordable by design at 49bydesign.com. That's 49bydesign.com.
Now, your grandiloquent word of the day, palpebrous. Palpebrous. What do you think palpebrous means?
I don't know.
Palpebrous, 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 is to have heavy eyebrows. So if you've got like really bushy eyebrows. Now, it's kind of funny that this happened to have
Justin Trudeau.
His eyebrows are so
heavy.
so
heavy. They couldn't even stay up.
Did you see this? If you didn't see this, it happened. Was that Sunday? Monday?
Sunday.
And it's
so
been
funny.
all over the place on Facebook. And people are... I still don't understand why he had fake eyebrows. He was doing a press conference.
Know.
And he had like false eyebrows that were falling off during the press conference.
That's hilarious.
I just don't understand why he had those there. I don't get it. So if it's some medical thing, I apologize for bringing attention to it, but it wasn't me. It was the whole internet was talking about it the last few days. And the people apparently over here at Grandiloquent Word thought it would be funny to make this our word today. Palpebrous. 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 Your grandiloquent word for today.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-719-5601. 800-719-5601. That's 800-719-5601.
Now some weird news on a Wednesday. Fire crew had to help rescue a hapless motorist who drove into a hole in a construction zone in southeastern Wisconsin. Got to pay attention, folks. Pay attention to the road and holes in the road. Greendale Fire Department posted photos Monday afternoon showing a red crossover vehicle that went past a flagman who was flagging him down, drove right past barricades into a construction zone,
wow,
and drove nose first into a rectangular hole in the road. Photos showed a towing vehicle pulling the vehicle from the hole. It appeared to have had some front-end damage. Imagine that.
What was the point of that?
Well, the fire department said the driver didn't appear to have any serious injuries, if any at all.
Was he intoxicated?
Doesn't say that. They don't explain if he was texting or if he was drinking, or there's no explanation, at least here, that somebody probably knows somewhere, but maybe he just thought, hey, I'm going to see if I can fit my car in that hole. It fit. I win. No, probably not. That's why it's today's Weird News. Now your moment of duh. This very easily could have been our Weird News. They could have been switched today. Many days that's like that. But today's, this is so weird. A 20-year-old man was arrested last Tuesday after police say they discovered at least 7 missing zoo animals in his apartment. Guess which state this was in?
I have no idea.
If you were going to guess.
Florida?
It was. Gainesville, Florida. This could have been our fake news or Florida later in the program. Santa Fe College police arrested Cedric T. Price at his apartment, where they recovered 7 of 11 stolen animals from the college's teaching zoo. Within the last 2 weeks, they've lost 11 animals. He's facing charges of grand larceny. The police there say that 3 Florida box turtles, 2 redfoot tortoises, a skink. I wonder if it's supposed to be a skunk. S-K-I-N-K. I've never heard of a skink.
There might be a skink.
Could be. Skink, skank, skunk. I don't know. A skink and a squirrel monkey were all found in his apartment. Police said that evidence at the zoo indicated the animals were forcefully taken from their enclosure. They say they discovered the animals because of a tip, and a zoo employee and students helped positively identify the animals. Is this your box turtle? That ain't my box turtle. How about this? Is this your skink? No, it's not my skink.
I'm
pretty sure it was a skunk.
The squirrel monkey.
I think that sounds adorable, but no, you wouldn't. This has been today's Moment of Duh.
John and Heidi.
This time of year, there are many parties, weddings, cookouts, and other events that often include alcohol. If you're drinking, be sure to have a designated driver. If you or someone you know has a problem with drugs or alcohol, there is help. The Addiction Hope and Helpline wants to help. If you feel like it's time to finally get the help you need, there's a toll-free number you can call, 1-800-438-0380. That's the Addiction Hope and Helpline, 1-800-438-0380, 1-800-438-0380.
And it's time now for fake news or Florida. You ready, Heidi?
I'm ready.
All right. You got to tell me if this is fake news, something we made up, bunch of flubbery, or if it's just something that really, truly happened in the great state of Florida. We had a good one just a little bit ago. Our weird news, that could have been a fake news or Florida. But I wanted to share the whole story, so I wanted to make sure to get that in there. But how about this one? Fake news or Florida? A Florida grandmother was arrested for buying a keg for her 12-year-old grandson's birthday party. Fake news or Florida?
12.
Heidi's trying to think in her family. She's like, well, we started at 6, so just kidding.
I'm going to say Florida.
No, that's fake news. Thank goodness. That is fake news.
It wasn't uncommon for us to have kegs at birthday parties.
I'm not saying that that's normal, though, Heidi. So, and one more. Fake news or Florida?
Okay.
A Florida store clerk arrested for pre-scratching lottery tickets, keeping the winners and selling the losers. Fake news or Florida?
Florida.
That is a true story. That absolutely happened. Very sad that happened, but that did happen. I've got a link to all the details on that, and I've got more fun stuff in our show notes at JohnandHeidiShow.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to JohnandHeidiShow.com. Again, JohnandHeidiShow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
Time now for some good news, and we could use some today. We've had some bizarre stories. Today's got, I'd say it's right up there with one of the weirdest days ever. Just some of the weirdest things that happened in the show today. Some of those stories are just bizarre. But we like to end with good news, and it comes your way courtesy of Odiva, a monthly subscription service that's just for the ladies. All the details at radiosavings.com. Now, today's good news comes on the tail of some sad news. Restaurant owner who says Anthony Bourdain changed their lives donated profits to the suicide hotline. So he passed away last week. Very, very sad. Also, Kate Spade, and they both took their own life. And it's such a sad thing. And if you know somebody that is struggling, or if that happens to be you, please seek some help. Because there are people out there who love you and care for you and want to make sure that you don't do this. But what a great story here. A small immigrant-owned business. They've become acclaimed in New York City as a hotspot for delicious Chinese food. They owe their thanks to this young man who had the program. He was out and he showed up and helped. Anyway, beloved Food Network star helped them with their business, and one of the owners of the business said, you know what, we are going to do what we can to help. They owe a debt of gratitude to him, and Mr. Wang is the owner, Jason Wang. He said the family has been living in a one-bedroom apartment, and they ran a basement food stall at a shopping mall. Their business had been struggling, and Bourdain visited the food stall for his No Reservations show on the Travel Channel. And because of the attention they got, their business just flourished. And now they've got 12 locations across New York City because of this. And they say, we are going to help any way we can. And I think that's really a cool thing. And there's a phone number, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 800-273-TALK, 800-273-8255. And that's something that I'm sharing through our social media as well. It's just such a sad thing that this happens. And you can never know what somebody was thinking. But I have people in my life that I've lost to suicide as well, and it's just so sad because then you sit there and think, what could I have said? What could I have done? And I don't know that there is anything you could have said or done. But if there is somebody that you think might need to know this number, again, it's the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 800-273-TALK. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We appreciate you joining us, and I've got all of the details for the stories we've talked about, even our good news here. There's a link to it all in our show notes at johnandheidishow.com.